Start again. Thank you, members. Welcome to the meeting. I would like to welcome Councillor Blackman to our council and to our first meeting. Congratulations on winning the by-election, and I hope you enjoy your time, and I'm sure you'll look forward to contributing towards our meetings. Moving on to our agenda, item 1. Mr. White, do we have any apologies, please?
We do, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and forgive me, this isn't a recorded vote list, okay? Members, we've got apologies this afternoon from Councillors Bolton, Bridgewater, Kemp, Kimber, Moody, Pearce, Renders, and Vashon. Therefore, members, we have 22 members present in the meeting. Thank you. Apologies, that's my alignment. It's Councillor Ridges. Thank you. For the record, Councillor Renders is with us. It's Councillor Ridges. Thank you.
Oh, I wonder if we can start introducing officer fines as well as phone fines. If we can move on to the minutes then, members, we have one set to agree as a true and correct record. That is from the meeting of the 28th of September. Do we have any questions or queries on those minutes, members? Thank you. In that case, then, can we have the vote, please, to accept those minutes?
That's clearly carried. Thank you, members.
Item 3. Members, do we have any personal or disclosable pecuniary interests to declare on the agenda before us? Thank you, Mr. White. I think we can move on then. I have no communications myself to bring forward under item 4. However, under item 5, Councillor Ball, I wish you wanted to have a quick word.
Emphasise the quick, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, thank you very much. As people are aware, the new passenger service started on the 20th of this month. The 118 bus links Tavistock to Oakhampton to allow connection if you wanted to do that. I think the important thing is, though, as you're also aware, we weren't successful with the levelling up fund for the Parkway, which is essential for the next, building on the success. I think it's really important just to reiterate again that as a authority and as individual members, it's really important that we encourage people to use the service because the usage of the service is what will help build evidence that we do need the Parkway. Hope that was 49 seconds, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Councillor Ball. I think that's the quickest you've been. We have no public questions brought forward, and we have no questions on notice. We have a motion brought forward by Councillor Zellis under motions on notice item 8. Councillor Zellis, would you like to move your motion, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Zellis. Do you have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Ball, thank you. Councillor Zellis, would you like to introduce, please?
Thank you very much. I think it's self-explanatory what I'm trying to say. Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, do you want me to stand or? Yeah.
That would be helpful, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's self-explanatory what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to find it actually on my agenda. Sorry. So I've got new glasses. Oh, sorry. Yes, given the comments from various councillors about the deteriorating state of the highways in West Devon, I feel it's sensible to ask our MPs to lobby for better funding. In that, this would also mean maintenance of pavements and the hedge management as well. So I hope that this will be accepted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, members. Are there any debates? Is there any points or questions that you would like to raise? Councillor Cheadle.
Yes, just one question. Are Devon County Council going to replicate this and make similar appeals to our local MPs?
Councillor Sass.
Thank you, Councillor Cheadle. We do this with great regularity right across Devon, lobbying MPs. Is that a satisfactory response? We, as I believe we do that anyway with great regularity, but I will check on that. I can't confirm that Devon County Council has actually written to the MPs, but I know that we continually lobby them to seek fairer funding in most areas actually. I'm sorry, I can't give a. So you're looking quizzical. Well, it is, yes. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, Devon County Council, I can assure you that Councillor Hart meets regularly with MPs and does seek fairer funding, not only for highways, but for children's services, special needs, educational needs, etc. So is that a satisfactory response, Councillor Cheadle? Okay, thank you.
Anyone for any more? In that case, Mr. White, are we able to move to the vote on that one? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All those in favour, please, members, show. That is 22 and unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. White. In that case, we can move on to the committee minutes, and we will start with the ONS committee meeting of the 5th of October. Councillor Ewings.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the minutes of the meeting of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee held on the 5th of October 2021 be received and noted. They are ONS 10 to ONS 19 and can be found between pages 11 and 16 of the agenda. Do I have a seconder, please, as Councillor Kimber's not here? Thank you.
Thank you. And then the Audit Committee, please, Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the minutes of the meeting of the Audit Committee held on the 2nd of November 2021 be received and noted. They are AC 8 to AC 14 and be found between pages 17 and 19. Can I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. As we had no recommendations for either of those, we're going to vote on those en bloc. Are we all happy to accept those minutes?
That's clearly noted. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. And Councillor Dewey, would you like to introduce the Hub Committee meetings and the recommendations?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the minutes of the meeting of the Hub Committee held on the 2nd of November 2021 be received and noted, with the exception of recommendations HC 38/21, parts 1 and 2, HC 41/21, and HC 43/21, brackets A, brackets Roman numerals 2. They are HC 32/21 to HC 43/21 and can be found between pages 21 and 25 of the agenda papers. If I could have a seconder, please.
You, Councillor Cheadle.
In respect of recommendation HC 38/21, I propose the following. That Council be recommended to employ 6 additional permanent posts shared with South Hams District Council, being 4 planning specialists and 2 legal specialists at an annual cost of £71,000, the West Devon Borough Council share of the costs, to be funded from additional planning income. And 2, to increase the staffing budget by £71,000 and to increase the planning income target for 2022-23 onwards by £71,000. Could I have a seconder, please?
All those in favour?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's unanimous. The recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In respect of recommendation HC 4121, I propose the following. That Council be recommended to agree the Tavistock Meadows Alcohol and Antisocial Behaviour Public Space Protection Order 2021 as set out in Appendix A of the presented agenda report to the Hub Committee meeting. If I could have a seconder, please.
Thank you, Councillor Cheadle. And those in favour?
That is also unanimous for that recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That Council be recommended to adopt a position to lobby central government and our local MPs to close the loophole that allows small business rates relief to second homeowners who rent their home out for 140 or more days per year. If I could have a seconder, please.
Thank you, Councillor Cheadle. And again, those in favour?
That is also unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, members. If we could have then the Development Management and Licensing Committee meetings, please. Councillor Yelling.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the minutes of the meetings of the Development Management and Licensing Committee held on the 14th of September 2021, 12th of October 2021 and 9th of November 2021 be received and noted. They are DMNL 8 to DMNL 15, DMNL 16 to DMNL 22 and DML 23 to DML 30, can be found between pages 27 and 32, 33 and 38 and 39 and 43 respectively, with the exception of DMNL 30, which is a recommendation to Council. Could I have a seconder, please?
Thank you, Councillor Moyes. Councillor Yelling.
In respect of recommendation DMNL 30, I propose the following. That Council be recommended to adopt the amended draft gambling statement of licensing principles as set out at Appendix A of the presented agenda report to the committee for the period from 31st of January 2022 to 30th of January 2025. Again, could I have a seconder, please?
Thank you, Councillor Moyes. And those in favour?
Thank you, members. That's unanimous for the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Moving on to item 10. This is an additional report that is on ModGov. Councillor Dewey, I believe you're introducing this report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And, as correctly said, the report was circulated today and is to be found on ModGov. There's a link there that members can follow. It will not have escaped anyone's notice that we've had 2 resignations of councillors recently and a by-election. I'd like to add my congratulations to yours, Madam Mayor, if I may, to Councillor Blackman for her being returned in that by-election, but also to the other candidates in the by-election who all mounted excellent campaigns in somewhat difficult circumstances. And I'd like to thank all of them for their contribution to what was a very good and interesting campaign. The recommendations in front of you make allowance for filling some of the vacancies that have occurred as a result of the resignations. They're proposing that Councillor Blackman be appointed to serve on the Overview and Scrutiny Committee and the Tamar Estuary Consultative Forum, and to sit on the Communications and Media and Housing Hub Advisory Groups, and to be a substitute member subject to receiving training on the Development Management and Licensing Committee. They also make provision for Councillor Spettigue to be appointed to fill the vacancy on the Development Management and Licensing Committee, with Councillor Bolton no longer serving on the Standards Committee. There will still be some vacancies outstanding by virtue of us being 1 member light at the moment, and a further report will be presented to the Council at the first meeting following the Tavistock North by-election. Members, if I could have any questions, please.
It seems everybody's happy with that. Councillor Dewey, would you like to
Thank you.
propose the recommendations?
In which case, I'd like to move the recommendation, items 1 through 4, that are found on page 1 of the supplementary document that we previously mentioned. If I could have a seconder, please.
Thank you, Councillor Cheadle. Members, any debate on this? No. In that case, Mr. White, we can move straight to the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Those in favour, please, members. Thank you, members. That's unanimous for all 4 recommendations. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. White. I think you might be on the money, Mr. You might be there. Item 11, members, is the annual review of the health and safety policy. This is an important document, so Councillor Dewey, would you like to introduce this report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, the papers in front of you represent the annual review of the health and safety policy. The policy, which is attached to the paper, records the Council's position regarding its responsibility to ensure the health, safety and welfare of employees, visitors or anyone affected by the Council's activities. The policy sets out the general direction and is supported by a number of safety codes dealing with specific issues such as lone working, incident reporting and so on. In our view, it adopts a sensible approach to managing risk, reflecting best practice. There are no changes proposed to the policy, although it should be noted that the past year has been a challenging one, which has resulted in the introduction of a number of protocols to ensure that staff and member safety, health and well-being was paramount during the difficult period that we've been through. Members, the paper is in front of you and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Councillor Cheadle, there was a...
Just with an eye on the clock, really. Have there been any recordable incidences, health and safety recordable incidents over the last 12 months?
I know Mr. Luscombe checks those. I'm going to pass this one over to Mr. Molyneux because he's looking there bored. It saves him going to sleep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any recorded incidents in West Devon.
Thank you, Mr. Molyneux. Okay. In that case, Councillor Dewey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to therefore move the recommendation that is on page 45 of the agenda papers. Could I have a seconder, please?
Thank you, Councillor Cheadle. I'm assuming as there were no questions, there's going to be little debate. We will give you the opportunity, though. Too slow. Mr. White.
Thank you, members. All those in favour, please show. That is also unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. White. In that case, members, I think we are done. And I will apologise to the members of the public that are watching this who seem to feel that we have galloped through this agenda quite swiftly. But however, the papers do receive adequate scrutiny before they come to us at full council. So I would like to assure the members of the public that might be watching, we do look at these documents and reports and we do monitor them closely. Thank you, members.